Hello and welcome to Wolverhampton. I'm Dan Dawson. This, of course, is the Black Country, the home of the Industrial Revolution, of Noddy Holder, the pork scratching, Sky Sports commentator Nigel Pearson, and the Singer Beer Grand Slam of Darts. On the eve of one of the biggest tournaments in world darts, we have the latest PDC Fans Forum. Got some huge names in there for you. I'm not in there. I'm reporting from a car park with a bloke holding up 2 phones for lighting, which is about as showbiz as it gets, but it does get a lot more showbiz in there right now with Nige and some big, big names.
Hi there, good evening and a very warm welcome to the Cleveland Arms here in Wolverhampton as we build up to the very latest PDC Fans Forum. 3 very special guests here who are going to take the questions not just from the audience here tonight at the Cleveland Arms, but also via Twitter, via the hashtag PDC Fans Forum. The forum we envisage is going to last 45 minutes to an hour, there or thereabouts, and then the players will go and do an autograph session for our audience here in the Cleveland Arms, and a fantastic turnout, it has to be said as well. Once again, we just ask all the audience if you could make your way forward to the front of the auditorium before we bring the players on, our very special guests for this evening. This is the 4th PDC Fans Forum that we've done this year. It's been a huge success, and of course it's all building up to the Singer Beer Grand Slam of Darts, which gets underway at Wolves Civic tomorrow, and of course is all live on Sky Sports. But without further ado, let's introduce our very special guests for this evening, folks. And I know that everybody here in the Cleveland Arms tonight has been looking forward to this occasion. I know everybody's going to make our guests very welcome indeed. First of all, runner-up here at the Grand Slam last year in Wolverhampton. Would you please welcome to the Cleveland Arms, Chizzy himself, Dave Chisnall. Welcome for Chizzy. Good to have you here, Dave, as well. Look forward to hearing your views and having a good chat with you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'll agree, great to see this guy in the Singer Beer Grand Slam of Darts as well. Would you please welcome the BDO World Champion from Lakeside, of course, Dorset's very own Scott Mitchell.
Who let the dogs out? Was nice, the party was pumping, and everybody having a ball.
Scotty, good to see you.
Who let the dogs out?
In the middle. Great to see you, Scott. Don't get too comfortable. We're going to have pictures very shortly. We've got to stand up so everybody can take the pictures. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the 16 times champion of the world and a man who has dominated the Grand Slam of Darts since its inception in 2007. Please welcome to the PDC Fans Forum, it's Phil the Power Taylor! I've got the power! Hey, on the end, pal. Hey. Great to see you, Phil. Can we just, great to see you, Phil. Can we just ask the guys to stand up for the audience to take a group photograph? I'll stand out the way, first of all. It's all about the players.
Oh, shit.
Chance to get a picture.
Pretend we like one another.
Of all the guys ahead of the PDC Fans Forum. We've got lots of questions that have been submitted as well. Quick one for the album. Brilliant. Take a seat, gentlemen.
It's a bit high.
Brilliant. Well, first of all, great to see you all once again. This place is absolutely packed here at the Cleveland Arms this evening, and what a wonderful panel we've got. We'll start with Chizzy. Dave, of course, the Grand Slam last year, so near, yet so far. How do you feel going into this year's tournament?
Yeah, I feel great.
playing good darts at the moment. End of the day, I'm only getting beat off Phil and Michael. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. And Scott, I guess, I mean, I read an interesting quote from yourself. It's nice for you to be in a tournament where the pressure's off. You're not actually the favourite. If you like, you're an underdog. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, very much so. I think when you find yourself in a group with Chizzy and Merv and Peter Wright, then yeah, I'm going to be the underdog, and that does suit me, I think.
And Phil, what a tournament this has proved to be. 2007, it almost became an instant hit, didn't it? And a welcome addition to the PDC calendar, the Grand Slam.
The Grand Slam, brilliant. I love it here because for me it's home from home. It's only 40 minutes up the road, so it's great. You know what I mean? I'm stopping for a few days, but I normally travel back home again and travel back again. It's great, and the building itself, it's a lot like the Winter Gardens at Blackpool. It's an old Victorian building, so the atmosphere is good. Even when it's empty, it's got a certain atmosphere. So it's Wolverhampton's all right. It's my type of people.
I think really in boxing they call it one of the small halls, don't they? Really, we have had Premier League at Wolverhampton, of course, but I guess it was nice that the city of Wolverhampton was able to keep a major tournament like this.
It's great. I love it. You know, a little walk around the shops in the daytime. There's some little food places as well. I don't know if everybody knows it. The little I don't know what you call it, like little stalls in the middle of the high street.
Yeah.
So there's always something to do, always something to get, something to eat. There's always something to do anyway. And it's you know, a few betting shops around here, loads of pubs.
Plenty to do.
Yeah, it's good.
Plenty to do, Phil. We've got a question for Chizzy first of all. Hashtag PDC Fans Forum, remember, on the Twitter. Chizzy, how confident are you of landing your first TV major in the near future? That, by the way, is from @SportsPage180 on Twitter. How confident are you of landing your first TV major in the near future, Dave?
Yeah, I'm very confident. It's just that, like I said about 2 minutes ago, it's just that I keep bumping into a good Phil Taylor or a good Michael Van Gerwen. But hopefully this week, going on to next weekend, I can do it then.
Yeah, and Scott, going into this tournament, what are your thoughts? Are you nervous, or are you just relaxed and open-minded about it all?
Well, I think so. I'm more relaxed and open-minded about it because it's not actually part of my ranking system. So I'm very lucky that, you know, it's a bit of a freebie for me, if I'm honest. So I can come over and hopefully enjoy myself.
He's going to be nervous, but he's going to be excited. Of course he is.
Yeah.
It's a difference. It's something he's never won before or competed in. So of course he's going to be looking forward to it. And he's going to play well. So's Dave. So's everybody else. I mean, you can't ask anybody how they're going to play. We're all ready for it.
A lot of interest, Phil, on and the questions that have been submitted about the BDO boys that have come into the tournament, the more hope, the high-profile BDO boys that have joined the Grand Slam this year. Obviously, we've seen Scotty Waits win the tournament in the past, but you know, it's a great lineup and a very attractive lineup now, isn't it, for the fans?
It's good, yeah. It always has been. Whoever, I mean, the one I'm surprised with is Martin Adams coming. I'll be honest with you. I mean, every year we've ever invited him, he's always said thank you, but no thank you. And this time he said yes. So I'm looking forward to seeing. I don't normally watch darts on TV. I'll be honest with you, because I'm usually playing. But I'm gonna sit and watch Martin Adams' game just to see how he takes it, how his battle goes, and this, that, and the other. You know, it's gonna be. I'm gonna watch him as well.
No pressure, Scott.
See if he's got any battle. Obviously he has. But it is tough on him, and it's also tough on us. So don't think for 1 second it's a pushover for anybody, because it's not. Martin Phillips tomorrow, good player, been around a lot. I mean, I knew Martin when I was with the BDO, so he's got some experience under his belt.
A lot of players you know as well, Chizzy, from down the years in the BDO as well. A couple of questions. How long do you practice on a day of a tournament? Does it vary in terms of your practice? Alan Ross on Twitter has tweeted in at hashtag PDC Fans Forum. Do your time of practice on the day of a game, does it depend on whether it's a short format or a long format? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, it's always the same time. I'll go in 3-4 hours before and just get ready and just get comfortable on the dartboard. Because sometimes if you don't practice before, you're going to go there nervous in a bit and throw them everywhere. And it could take half an hour to an hour to reduce how you're playing.
So is that the same for you, Phil, then? It's standard practice?
Chizzy plays on a Tuesday, he's practising Monday, he's at the venue Monday afternoon, trust me. He is a massive practicer. Don't listen to him.
He's doing himself down.
He'll bullshit you. He's there. He's there for about 6 hours, that bugger is, aren't you? Tell the truth.
4.
I'll be there. I'm going to practice in my room first. I've got a dartboard in my room, so I'll be practicing a couple hours in my room.
Right.
I'll probably start tomorrow about 9:30 in the morning, believe it or not. But I'll be doing little bits during the day. And then I'll get down there, say if it starts at 4, I'll be down for 2.
What about you, Scott? Your practice routine?
Well, my practice routine is usually I'll go through a little routine that lasts about an hour, hour and a half. And if it's not going well, to be honest, I just walk away from the board and then go back and see what happens when I get out there, because I think that you can have bad practice for a game and turn your head before you play. So if it's not quite going well for you before a big game, just walk away from it and think of something else.
You're
come back
all
and
your
half an hour's
secrets here,
time.
you know. Related all your secrets here.
Dave, a question from Mate Weinrich on Facebook, actually, via the PDC Facebook. What's your best bit of advice for a youngster who is just starting to play darts? What advice would you have?
Well, my little nephews are playing darts at the moment. They're like 7, 8, 9. And I always say just try and keep the dart straight and be positive, just attack it.
Straight and attack.
Yeah.
Sounds very simple, but you know, in terms of an 8 or 9-year-old, is that all you would say to them? Just keep it to the basics? A little bit like football coaching, I guess. Keep to the basics.
Yeah, just keep practicing. That's all they can do. End of the day, the young lads, they know what to do when they get let bolder like I did. When I was a young kid, I didn't play that, so I just come through when I was like 27. And I've just practiced and I'm where I am.
Straight and attack, Phil. Would you agree with that
To start off with,
a youngster? Just straight and
what
attack.
would my advice be? I would make sure, first of all, you get the right dartboard, get the right height, get the right length, because a lot of kids always seem to put the dartboard at a lower height. And then I would ask my parents to buy me a few sets of darts, because you're not just going to pick what they'll always do, they'll always buy the dart that each player they like, whether they like Dave, me, or whoever. They have to, you know, it might be Scott's darts, but make sure you get the dart. And what'll happen is you'll create your own style. But what you've got to do, you've got to put the work in. It's like building a house. You've got to put the footings in first.
Even if you're 8 or 9 years of age.
It's like a job. It's dedication. You know, I mean, over the years, I would have been the biggest practicer there's ever been, and I'm doing it again now. You know, I've got to, because I'm getting pissed off of losing. Quite honestly. I am. I'm even practicing on my doubles.
You know how the rest of us feel now.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Scott? I mean, similar to these two guys?
Well, yeah, I mean, I taught my 2 kids, really, and my daughter's 21 now, and she's playing county, and I think the thing was to make sure they hold the dart in the right way, make sure that the arm is very simple, up and over.
You've got a 21-year-old.
Yes.
You doesn't look old enough. I knew you were going to say that, Phil.
So yeah, that's what I taught them, and enjoy it mainly, because if you're not enjoying it, they don't play. So
yeah,
you've got to get enjoyment out of it, otherwise it's not worth doing.
Get the money. It's not the enjoyment. Get the money in.
Chizzy, do you have any pre-match superstitions? If so, what are they? Is there anything you do particularly as a superstition? Do you need a bit of time to think about that one?
I don't really do it, really.
You don't do anything?
I always make sure I have an haircut before I go on, when it gets long. That's it, really. Don't have no superstitions.
Some footballers wear the shorts a certain way round, that type of thing. Any superstitions, Scott?
Yeah, I've got a lucky pair of boxer shorts, but
too much information.
Unfortunately, I've not got them with me this week because the undercarriage went at the World Cup, so I've got to find another lucky pair somehow.
Every time I have.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Where am I looking?
Do you want to talk boxer shorts?
I've got a picture of Scott Mitchell under my bed. And I kiss it every night before I go to sleep.
It's a great question.
Well, my little girl bought me some socks for Father's Day, and every time I wear them, I always lose.
So you're not wearing them this week?
No, no.
Right.
Just wear my game. Just
when you play Scott. Yeah, I mean, a question really to Phil. One here that has come in via Twitter again. At what stage did you change your darts from a longer, thinner barrel to a shorter, thicker one, Phil?
When did I change my darts?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, actually. A few years ago anyway. I just picked a set of a certain player named Mr. John Lowe's up, and I liked them. I thought these are all right, these. So I was struggling with, well, not struggling, but I like changing things. I like altering things.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. So the dart I've got now, which I've got perfect, I'll use these now till January, and then I'll change, and then I'll think of something to try and improve. The only reason I do it is to improve. I don't change because I just want to change. I try and make myself a better player. I'll be honest with you, because these buggers here, they're getting better. So when I'm getting older, so I've got to keep thinking about things too.
Yeah, and of course you change darts manufacturer occasionally.
Earplugs.
Sorry?
I'm even having earplugs next week.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, because it Wayne Mardle's commentary.
Phil Taylor with earplugs.
I was going to say Chris Mason, but I won't, because he lives around the corner. He'll pick me up.
Chizzy, there's a question that's just come through on Twitter at PDC Fans Forum from Mikey Risbo, who's on the tweets. Can you beat Phil this time? What will you need to do differently to beat Phil Taylor?
I know where I'm sat in the middle now.
Well, hopefully I can beat him, or I won't be here, would I? I can't keep giving 5 in the list stats, and then when I get back to 10 each, don't give him another 5 legs. You've got to be at your game all the time with Phil. Any mistakes you do, he punishes you. So that's all I can say.
Scott, how often do you think about comparisons between the BDO and the PDC? A lot of questions about that subject, really. Do you think about it much? And obviously the logical question would be, you know, do you ever see yourself moving across to the PDC? What are your thoughts on all this going into the Grand Slam?
It's probably one of the most asked questions, other than have you bought your dad that tractor? So for me, you know, you never say never. I've got mates over on both sides. When you're in one or the other, you tend to concentrate on what you're doing. The simple answer is I've never really had a sensible offer to come over, so I'm where I am at the moment. Never say never is the word, because obviously you've got to do what's right by your family, and if it was the right move for me and my family to come over, then, you know, it'd be difficult to say no.
And some additions to the Grand Slam as well. I mean, Larry Butler coming into the Grand Slam this year as well, Dave. You know, you talk about players making great comebacks, and now we've got Larry Butler in Wolverhampton on the big stage. You know, amazing stories really going into this tournament.
I didn't know who he was. So I watched him the other week at the Wimmer.
You don't know Larry Butler?
Amazing story, Phil, isn't it, what Larry Butler's done?
Plays for Chelsea.
We got our first question from the floor over here, folks. Can we just have a bit of order in the audience while we get a question from the floor, please?
This is a question for all of you lads.
Question for everyone?
This is a question for all you daughters there. How much pressure do you feel you're all under going into this Grand Slam?
Pressure going into the Grand Slam. Phil?
Pressure? Loads of pressure. But do I care? Not really, no. I'm looking forward. I'll be honest with you, I'm really, especially now I've got my darts right and I'm practicing brilliant. So then I want to put the practice game up there, and the more you play up there, the more you'll gain for, you know, they make more experience, obviously, to boost your confidence. It's all about, that's the one, that's your biggest muscle. Not that one down there, that one. That's your biggest muscle. At your age, it isn't. It's that one down there.
Scott, I think you've already answered the question nicely anyway. You don't feel pressure going into the Grand Slam?
Not this one, no. You know, it feels like a bit of a freebie, and yeah, I want to do well. Let's not beat around the bush. There will be a certain amount of pressure that I put on myself of what I expect from myself, but no, you know, I'm going to enjoy this one.
Why do you think we have to wear black trousers?
Why?
Because of the pressure. That's what all about.
Dave, do you feel pressure? I mean, getting all the way to the final last year? Do you feel it?
I don't feel pressure about playing it, but when I'm at home, people keep saying to me, oh, can you repeat what you did last year? Well, of course I can. I'm Dave Chisnall.
Tough group, of course.
Yeah, people. My girlfriend over there, Michaela, she said, that's not a tough group, that. But it is. Scott Mitchell, BDO World Champion, Merv King, great dart player, and Peter Wright, who's number 4 in the world. So I've got a tough group.
But if you're going to win the tournament, you've got to beat them all, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
I think I can get through my group. Just about.
Yeah, just about. A question from the floor away to our right here. Again, can we just have a bit of order at the bar and just around here so we can get a question from the floor over here? Yes.
Phil.
Have we got a microphone at all?
I can hear you.
Yes.
And I've noticed just before you throw, right hand pocket.
I put my hand in my right hand pocket.
Have you got some magic dust in there, or what do you actually keep in there?
Why do I do it? What's he say?
Magic dust.
Magic dust.
I haven't got magic dust. I've got fucking cobwebs there at the minute. Magic dust. No. I use one of them little red wax pants. That's what I use. Don't these look like the Mitchell brothers? Look at them. That's Peggy.
We've got a question at the front of the room. Who's it for, sir?
For all three players, really. Apart from being darts players, what other sports can you take part in and enjoy spectating in?
Chess.
Chess. Any other sports?
I didn't hear what you said.
Any other sports that you can hold the mic now, Dave? Any other sports that you partake in that you can do?
Yeah, I can play football.
Any good?
Well, I was, so I started playing darts. Not too bad to see. What's that?
Can you go and sign for Coventry City?
Oh, no, I've watched them a few times.
Most players play golf as well. I'll take up boxing if you don't shoot your face, you. No, most players like a little game of golf in the break. I don't bother with it. I think it's a waste of a walk. But a lot of players love golf, don't they? Do you like golf?
Yeah, I used to play golf. I used to play off of 11 when I was about 14 or 15. Haven't played for a long time. Then I thought, I'm always into sport, always have been. And I started racing motocross. I thought that'd be good. And I did the British Championship.
You race motocross?
Yeah. So
how big was your bike?
Big. It was a big one. And I jacked that in and then came back to darts. So yeah, I've done all sorts, but I love Speedway. My big love is, like Nigel's, is watching Speedway every week.
Have you ever had a ride on a Speedway bike?
No, they're crazy,
right.
those guys, they're crazy.
Quite right, keep it that way. What about rugby league with some talents, Chizzy? Do you ever follow the Saints?
Yeah, I follow them a little bit. I don't really watch them that much. I'd rather watch Wigan.
Chizzy, there's another question for you via Twitter, actually, from Danny Caulfield, hashtag PDC Fans Forum. Chizzy, what do you consider as your biggest victory in a televised event so far? I presume that means what's the best win of your career on TV so far?
Well, I've got a few, but the best win I've ever won was when I beat Phil Taylor in the World Championships. He didn't play well, but I did.
But Phil, you expect that. I guess when people are questioned about big wins in their career, because of who you are...
I'm still thinking an answer for that one.
Yeah.
Just give me 5 minutes.
A bit slow with the response on that one. But
Bastic comes to mind. Sorry.
I suppose you're used to it, aren't you? Other players, when they beat you,
used to.
They regard that as one of the highlights of their career when they've beaten you because of who you are.
Well, not so much now, I don't think. I think a few years ago it was.
Right.
My biggest achievement, I think, was the News of the World.
Right.
I think that's the hardest one to win. That was a difficult one because it's only best of 3, 501.
Yeah.
And the first round was we had to go to a local venue where there's 30 or 40 players, county players.
Yeah.
You had to win that. Then you went to a club with 100 odd players. You had to win that. And then you went to another club with all the winners and win that one for TV. So that was, in my opinion, the hardest one ever.
Wow. Great answer. Scott, I presume it's the old Lakeside World Final, isn't it?
It is, probably. I think probably the best game I had at Lakeside was against Tony O'Shea in the first round.
Right.
I never led that game at all in the whole match until I hit the winning double. That was the first time I led him in sudden death. So for me, that was probably the one that set the sort of World Championship game up for me, really.
Yeah, you were lucky there. I watched that game.
Yeah, dead lucky.
Look at you.
I had 20 quid on Tony.
And I once took 2 legs off of Phil Taylor and he beat me 4-2. That was my best game up to then.
Thank you.
But yeah, and Tony O'Shea, very popular at the Wolves Civic from his appearances in the Grand Slam as well. Tony O'Shea for sure. Phil, your most memorable checkout to win a match from Jordan Soloff on Twitter, hashtag PDC Fans Forum.
Memorable
checkout to win a big match.
Dave actually pointed it out to me because last week he played in Germany with me and it was one of the best shots I've ever seen in my career. He went 180 under pressure and he left a double and he went out 1-2-1 on the ball. And then when he came back, that to me was one of the best shots I've ever seen. And he said, was it 164? I did a 180, 164 out, which I can't remember, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
When you do a week in and week out, you don't remember. But the trouble is, when he was saying about different sports, you don't really get time to do anything else. By the time you get home, empty your suitcase, wash everything, get it bloody iron, you're on the road. Honestly, you're home for 1, maybe 2 days. When you're talking about joining the PDC, you better get some suitcases, by the way. Get yourself down to Sports Direct.
Other sports manufacturers are available, of course.
Don't need knacker them up. Don't buy dear ones, trust me.
I'll take that on board, Philip. I'll take that on board.
Buy a dear one, the customs will just go...
I still borrow them. Don't even buy one, I borrow
Not that big, you don't.
We've got a question at the back of the room, so again, if I can ask the audience for best of order, please. We've got a question at the back of the room. Ollie, I can't quite see. Yes, sir. No, the mic's not working, is it? Okay, try again. Try again.
Who? Are we going to do a
No, it's not working at the back of the room.
I'm going to try, sweetheart. Trust me. I've done a few this last couple of weeks.
Feeling good?
I have. I missed about 4 today.
Fancy a 9-darter in Wolverhampton, Dave?
Yeah. Well, of course we do. We all fancy him, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's all about winning the one leg before the 9-darter. That's my motto.
Be some achievement, Scott, on your Wolves debut, wouldn't it?
It would be lovely, but 9 darts at double 16, as long as I hit it, I don't care, you know, as long as it wins the leg.
Yeah, it's a good attitude. Great attitude indeed, yeah. A question that I know you probably get asked quite a lot, Phil, from Dylan Hodgetts on Twitter.
Thank you, Dylan.
What will you do when you retire from darts? Will you stay involved in some way?
Will I stay involved
Will
with
you
darts?
stay involved in some way with darts?
I don't know, really. I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I've got all this money piled up in the bank. I might just enjoy myself a little bit. I don't know. Probably darts won't let me retire, in fairness. I think I will retire from being competitive. I think the days are numbered now for me. So once it happens, then maybe do something along with Sky or ITV. Who knows? They might not want me. They might want me. I don't know. But I might be sitting next to you. You just never know.
Who knows? You never know.
And here's some proper money.
Plenty to come. Plenty to come yet, I'm sure.
A couple of years.
I hope he retires soon. I might win something.
You'll have to put me a stair lift in soon. I can't get on steps.
He's a good talker. Phil would make a good commentator.
That's just for the walk-on, is it?
It's a walk-on.
That's just for the walk-on.
Yeah, you've done a bit of commentary, Scott, haven't you?
I love actually having the honour of being able to be beamed into people's front rooms and talk about a game I love playing. Yeah, I really enjoy doing it. So hopefully I can keep doing the two as I am.
It's lovely to slag people off, isn't it?
No, I don't go down that road.
I want to miss that double. He shouldn't have gone that way. They all do it, you know. They all do it. I love commentary.
Good at darts, he won't be doing it, would he?
Yeah, but you've done something. A lot of the commentators have never actually... I mean, I'm not being disrespectful, but a lot of commentators have never actually felt the pressure of being in a World Championship final.
Absolutely.
Yes, of course, yeah. You can only commentate on what you see. Whereas as a player, we can commentate on how that person feels.
Yeah.
And that's what Scott's saying. You can. So he knows if I'm on a double, he'll know, and an odd. I don't think Phil will hit this, I don't think Dave will hit this, because you can tell by the body language. I mean, you do that now and again, obviously, you know, but it is difficult when you haven't actually been there.
I'd agree, and similar when I commentate on football, on the radio or whatever, I've never actually played the game at that level, so, no, it's a good point.
Commentating on football is a different game than playing in darts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If a player does a pass, the commentator doesn't say, well, that was shit, wasn't it? Yeah. What they do in darts, you know what I mean? They do.
Yeah, they do.
Fair comment, fair comment.
But not them language, but they do say that.
Good stuff. Hashtag PDC Fans Forum on Twitter. And the question from the floor, down here at the front, sir, yes.
Message for Tyler.
Hello.
That'll be Phil then, will it?
Has Adrian Lewis got the better of you?
What you say?
Has Adrian Lewis got the better of...
Has Adrian Lewis got what?
Better of you.
Got the better of you.
Has he got the better of me? He did last week. He did last week. But you know, the best part about this game is you can lose one week and win the next week. So you're only as good as your last game. I was crap last week, but I'm having good averages and I'm playing okay. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not too worried about it. But this suits me because you have a few days off. Them tournaments are hard work because you play every day. But this one, you have a day off. So we'll see what happens if I get through.
And Chizzy, what Phil was talking about living out of a suitcase almost on the PDC tour, prime example, European Championships last weekend, straight to Wolverhampton for a 9-day tournament now, Players' Championships, the floor tournaments that we refer to them. It's a hectic schedule. Did you notice how busy it was when you first went to the PDC? Was that noticeable? Did it affect your game in any way?
No, it doesn't affect your game, because you get used to it, but when I first started, I thought, I can't be bothered with this. Keep going up to different places all the time. But when I got winning a couple of darts games, I thought, oh, I can get used to this. And when I won a few darts games, I could afford a suitcase. So I was happy.
It's when he started hearing a few £1,000, that's what changed his mind, trust me. He's bullshitting again. Stop being diplomatic, tell the truth.
Very tiring though, every weekend. Every weekend you're playing darts and you're travelling like to Germany. Last year was worse for me when it wasn't worse, it was a privilege to go to Australia.
Yeah.
It was just so tiring. And then when I come home, September was one of the busiest months of the year.
Exciting time though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, look at Scott feeling
I've
sorry
got a
for
question for you. Do you pack your own bag before you go? Or does Michaela do it for you?
Always pack me on. If Michaela packed my bag, she'll pack me the scruffy Sundays going.
I'm talking about boxer shorts again. Ryan's got a question from the audience over here. Yes, sir.
Phil's most of the sports person who he likes. Ronnie O'Sullivan, Ricky Hatton.
What's he fucking say?
The finest sports person, in his opinion.
Say that again.
Who's his favourite sports person?
I know you like Ricky Hatton and Ronnie O'Sullivan. Who's your other most favourite sports person in another sport?
Who do I like in sport? I like, believe it or not, I'm not a typical English person, but I like winners, to be honest with you. I like the Tony Adams and the Stuart Pearces and Roy Keanes and people like that, you know what I mean? Nigel Benn, who I'm friends with, I love him. Joe Calzaghe is another one, if you mention boxers. My ultimate favourite was a fella, if you remember him, named Daley Thompson. Because he was an all-rounder. He was like a shot putter, a javelin, a runner, a jumper, everything. He was brilliant. So he was my ultimate favourite.
Scott, have you got an all-time favourite sportsman?
Yeah, probably. Because of my Speedway background, I'm into Speedway big time, and I'm mates with Chris Holder and I know Ty, so those sorts of people inspire me to go and play darts well. I think all sportsmen are the same. I think we admire other sportsmen that are doing well in their sport, and I think that inspires you.
Dave?
Steven Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard.
Legend.
There you go.
Lisa Ashton. It's not been playing long enough.
And a question over here from the floor once again. Yes, sir.
For Phil Taylor, how did you maintain your hunger and desire to win when you were at #1 for so long?
4 children, 5 grandkids. Christmas is coming up. Trust me. Do you know how many this week? Dad, I love you. I've had. And how many grandkids go, Grandad, I love you, I do. Like, yeah, I bet you do. How much? No. What it is, it's I think you either got this or you haven't got it. You either want to play and you want to concentrate and you want to be a winner, or you don't. And it's simple as, there's a lot of people go into tournaments in darts and in snooker and everything else, just happy to be there and first round losers. They are. But there's certain people that aren't happy to be in the last 8 or the semi-finals that want to win, and I am a winner. I love to be thinking I can still beat these people. I do, and I still believe I can. And I'm going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until I get back to the top. Then I'm going to frick off and retire.
Christmas is coming, blimey.
If I can, I mean, I might not be able to, but I will keep trying.
The question here, Scott, that I put to you from Kieran Beardmore on Twitter. Scott, what about the fact that you are, to an extent, representing your code, as in the BDO? Do you feel that, I mean, I know you've said that there's no pressure on you, it's almost like a free hit for you, but you are representing the BDO as well, aren't you? Do you feel that at all?
Yeah, of course, but I don't feel the pressure of that. You know, we're all here as individuals playing a dart competition for money, so yes, I am, and no, I'm not really. I think there's a bit of both with me, really.
And a question for Dave Chisnall. If you were to make the final of the World Championships, who would be the opponent that you would like to play most? Is that an unfair question? From Hamdan Al-Warshaw on Facebook. If you got to the World Final, who would you like to play?
I'd like to play Michael Van Gerwen. Because he always beats me. And it'd be nice to beat him in the World Final. And then just upset him a little bit.
Okay, fair enough. And we've got a question over here. Yes, sir.
Okay, this one's for Phil. From the first day you won a tournament to now, what is the difference between if you won it this year? What would it mean to you between when you
Can't hear you very well.
Can't hear. Can we just have a bit of hush, folks, while we get this question in, please? Try again, sir. Yes.
Between the first time you won a tournament to now, what would be the difference in you winning it? What would it mean to you?
To win this?
Yeah.
Well, everything really. I mean, it's. I'm not won anything for a couple of months, so I want to get a trophy under my belt. And this, with it being so close to home, and my family all come down, it means more to me. I mean, Wolverhampton's like being. I mean, it's no different than being in Stoke. They're all working class people. It's all, you know what I mean, down to earth. So it's the one where, and also they tell you the truth. Do you know what I mean? If I walk through Wolverhampton tomorrow, they'll say, "You played shit last week," just like he did there. Do you know what I mean? And I quite like that. I like him being honest. So it's home from home for me.
We've got a question at the front here, sir. Let me just grab that, Chizzy, if you don't mind. Yes, sir. Who's the question for?
All three, really.
You're being greedy now.
What's it like to lose in a last leg decider when you've been in front in a match for so long?
It all depends. Let me ask you a question. How would you feel if you're in the last frame decider, you've come back, you've clawed back, you're on one leg of 501, for 250 grand you get beat? How would you feel? It's like being kicked in the knackers, we quite honest with you. If that explains.
Losing.
But when you win, it's the best feeling in the world.
Any thoughts on that, Dave?
Yeah, losing last leg for £250 pisses you off a bit, like. So it means that you're not in a tournament as well.
That's only like a slap in the face, so that is.
Dave, last leg?
Nah, it's not good. Not good. It's not good because you take it with you. You can't not take it with you because you'll analyse that last leg and pick up on every mistake you made in that last leg. And if you're not careful, you'll take that to the first leg of your next game, whenever it is. So it's very hard to forget those bad last legs, I'd say.
And there's a question on Twitter from @TungstenStories. Phil, what is your personal... Well, look, this is an open-ended question. What is your personal favourite achievement in darts?
My personal favourite achievement in darts, it's got to be, I mean, the News of the World's probably my favourite, you know, the most personal and biggest achievement. The World Championships, I'd say, are the best ones I've ever done, you know what I mean? Because that's the world. It doesn't matter how many tournaments you win. You know, Scott could go now and win 1,000 things, but you only introduce us one-time world champion or 2 times world champion. How many, you know, he's heading for 6, so he might be introduced in a few years' time as the 6 times world champion. They don't know, but it's the World Championships that everybody remembers, and nobody remembers runner-up.
And
you don't.
And you quite often, Phil, have said about this time of year, November, Grand Slam Wolverhampton, this is where you start to try and raise your performance levels for the Ali Pali.
Yeah, you've got to send a message out now. You really have. You've got to come in here now and start playing well. As what Scott said, if you can win this, your confidence rolls onto your next one, and if you win that one, the next one, and it sends a little it just gives you that little edge on players. It just makes them think a little bit, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all it's about. So it's that little grey matter up there.
And yourself, Scott, is it similar this time of year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're looking at January now, where this is sort of like the time of year where, particularly in the BDO, our 4 sort of tournaments are this time of year, from October to January. So kind of the rest of the year, you're building up for this, and obviously the Masters has happened now. Now I'm here, and it's the same thing. It's getting that, trying to get that sort of momentum to head into the World Championships with.
Yeah, and the World Championships, they're going to be what? 5 weeks away, 6 weeks away now, Dave. Do you start casting an eye towards that?
Yeah, I always start, well, September. It's where like 5 majors come in. But when I get to the World Championships, I always tend to play bad. I do okay in the 4 before it, but then I just don't play good in the World Championships. And the Players Champs, I don't think I've had a good year at mine head.
Okay, we've got a question over here. Yes, sir. Just have a bit of order again. We've got a question from the floor over here, folks.
Yeah, it's another one for Phil. Do you think that there's anybody at the moment that could ever match, beat, or
Do you think anybody ever match what I've achieved?
No. Yeah. In your 6 world titles, do you think there's
beat
anybody
what I've done in darts?
Yeah.
I don't think so, no. I'll be honest with you, I don't. It is achievable, of course it is. And I think the ones that are going to come through in the near future are the Easterns, the Japanese, the Chinese. Believe me, they are practicing out the skin. You've got dirty knees in most. So I think they're the ones that are going to come through. But if I can do it, then other people can do it. Michael is phenomenal in the minute. He really is. And fair play to the kid, you know what I mean? He's putting the effort in. So it's up to us now to stop him. So, but I don't think he'll do what I did. No, I don't. I think it's difficult now, more difficult when I first started.
And we've got a question on Twitter, Phil. It's a nice little cheeky one, this. From Rob Rees on Twitter. Phil, is it worth putting 20 quid on you to win the Grand Slam? And the second question is, can I borrow 20 quid?
Can you borrow 20 quid?
Rob Rees on Twitter.
Cheers, Rob. It's, yeah, each way. Put me on each way.
Hashtag PDC Fans Forum. We've had some fantastic questions tweeted in tonight. There's another question just below here, yes?
I'd like to ask Dave and Phil what sort of double act they'd make at a World Cup.
That's interesting. Dave, Phil, would you like to play alongside each other in the World Cup? What sort of double act you'd make?
Would I like to play with Chiz in the World Cup? I'd love it.
What sort of double act do you play together?
What?
What do you do together?
What sort of
we actually
partnership
practice
would you
together
form?
in the practice room, me and Dave do. We have a little beat the score and all that business, but he gets the ump when I start beating him, so he don't play anymore then.
That's all the time. They get very lucky though sometimes.
I'd love to play with Dave in the wheel pairs. I'd love to play with anybody in the wheel pairs, to be honest with you, as long as I'm there, because you get.
Brilliant. Well, I'm sure you'll agree. These guys have been fantastic tonight. They've got a big week ahead, and we wish you sincerely, all three of you, all the very best, fellas.
Thank you.
The guys are going to actually do an autograph session. If you do want the guys to sign the 180 boards for you, you will have to form an orderly queue around here. We do have security, and we will get you through as quickly as possible. In the meantime, can I just say that it's been a huge honour to be here for the PDC Fans Forum. Don't forget the Singer Beer Grand Slam of Darts, live on Sky Sports, starts tomorrow afternoon. And we sincerely wish Phil, Scott and Dave all the very best for the tournament ahead, and thank them for the company here at the Cleveland Arms tonight. Good night, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Well done, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Well done, boys.